2 yesterday while watching Open Division.
I have no present on my launcher, so it hasn't.
Ah, you were casting.
But I assume
unlucky.
it's because I only have chat open, so I don't think that counts.
I don't think that counts either.
Can't get in the system, people. Not available.
Yeah, I was very happy about the 2 chests that I got yesterday, and
I just scrolled down on our clean feed, and it says that Broadcaster has not enabled in-game drops. Bah! We could have got drops from this. We'll have to harass them about it tomorrow. Just like, oi, why not? Help us. We're busy casting.
alrighty then. Yeah, it doesn't count. As a caster, you can't get them, unfortunately. As a streamer, you can't get them either. I'm a very sad panda every single time I see that. But anyways, I think the drops have done a lot of good things to many people. They made many people happy. And I'm just going to say this. I got my variant legendary yesterday. I already had it.
Nice.
Already had it, but
yes.
Still taking it.
Fair enough. So we're heading to Dragonshire. Another absurd win rate map for CE. Was 100% at the end of last season, I believe. Maybe it was 99, something crazy like that. They've won the majority of their games. So we will prepare to head into the draft for that. But you mentioned loot boxes, like you said, it's done some good stuff. We've seen a couple people who are checking out esports. Got a tweet yesterday about someone checking out esports who hadn't thought of it before or hadn't looked into it before.
Yeah.
Through the loot drops. So to any of you who are here for that, hello. I am Techa, this is Kendrick, we cast HGC China, and it's cool and very chaotic.
And very explosive. We like to call China, you know, sometimes it's not the most professional region, the most cleanest of region where you can get picture-perfect plays in a macro way of sense, but other regions will have to respect the Chinese team fighting. Unfortunately, the meta is in a place in which team fighting alone won't win you games because you can always play the map and have good decisions there. But in terms of raw team fighting, I think China doesn't have to hide from any other region. If they just work on their other weaknesses, which is drafting sometimes, which is the rotation and macro play on the map sometimes, they could truly become that scary region that they were in 2015 and 2016. But for now, there's a lot of work to be done. But who knows? Maybe at the next Eastern Clash in Korea, mid-August, we're going to see the resurgence, or at least the beginning of the resurgence of China.
As we are seeing at the beginning of this draft, no more a resurgence of Maiev, as even though they defeated it, it was still a little scary.
Yeah.
So CE getting rid of that, they got a couple Umbra Blinds, and the Umbra Blind was the cause of a couple of the deaths that they had. But with Matthew already taken away from them, we're going back into the 365 hero pool here. He's got plenty of options, though.
Absolutely. And, you know, Maiev is one of those heroes that can be a real thorn in your sides. Even if you know how to play against it, even if you know, like, how to draft against it and how to shut her down, one moment of letting your guard drop and you're losing a team fight right there. So if you don't want to play against it, if you don't want to have that lucky punch potential by the enemy team, then you just ban it out. And Genji is exactly another one of those heroes that you just want to ban out. But guess what? By banning Genji, you can't have the Tracer banned. And Alufal is not going to ask twice about that hero. He's going to pick it, and one of the most lethal Tracers, maybe the most lethal Tracer in the league, is now deployed.
But we immediately see the Diablo Phoenix combo being entered into the draft. The Lightning Breath into Purification Salvo. It's a classic, but it very much works. It's a modern day classic, as it were, as it is very new into the scene. But it just gets kills. And luckily, though, Blaze already on the side of CE. Tracer has recall, which could also avoid it. So far, there is counterplay.
Yeah, absolutely true. Tracer is not in that golden, glorious spot that she was a few months ago. She has received several nerfs in the most recent balance updates, and she's definitely still a strong hero, but nowhere near at the peak of her impact. And as such, as you said, there's plenty of counterplays available. The Phoenix outranges her, so if he pokes her down before she gets close, she's going to have to recall and retreat. And Malfurion, of course, with that Twilight Dream, similar to other high mobility engaging heroes like Genji, for example, like a Maiev, for example, if you land that silence at the golden time, then these heroes won't have an escape tool, and they're going to be taken out quite swiftly.
So, with the escape tools being important for both teams, of course, when you have tanks like Blaze and Diablo, what are we going to see from CE here? They still need supports, obviously. There's Deckard Kane. I still always feel that little bit of doubt when I see Decade Kane with something like a Tracer who's supposed to be diving, or, well, not diving, but supposed to be moving a little further forward. But I'm still going to trust it because it just consistently proves me wrong. So I'm going to trust the Decade Kane is going to be a good idea here.
No, I totally get your feeling about it. Like, the same happens to me when I play the Deckard Cain with a Tracer in my own Hero League games, for example, or when I watch the drafts go down. You know, the potions are a little bit of an X factor sometimes. First of all, you need to drop them in the right locations, and then your allies are also going to have to be there and actually take them up, right? So with Tracer being so high mobility, being so inconsistent in terms of moving patterns, sometimes you worry about the potions being picked up or not. But if she picks up one of those potions, thanks to the shielding potions at level 4, she's going to have a mini shield built into her kit. And if you've ever played Tracer, or if you watch a Tracer play, shields are a Tracer's best friend.
Yes, they are. In fact, we could even still see a Tassadar into this draft, into this composition. We will have to keep an eye on that. For now, BTG, though, leading the solo laner at minimum. There is two of them, potentially.
Still no love for the variant here. I could have actually seen it work for Beyond the Game, maybe alongside the Greymane, but I saw what you guys did there on the European Open division. It was actually Grubby who talked down on my boy Varian.
A little bit of smack, yeah.
A little bit of smack talk there, yeah, I see that. Horde bias.
And then we also had the majority of the casters at the MSB also talking smack about the Varian because, to be fair, they were just going off the statistics that he kept losing.
Yes. He kept losing until Tempo Storm used them against Australia.
Yeah, there we go.
Then it was able to finally succeed.
Didn't even go Twin Blades, though.
No.
No bravery. No bravery at all.
Exactly. I think Dignitas also won with Varian once, but I'm not exactly sure. Anyways, Varian a thing of the past for now in China. We haven't seen him once up to this point. And it's not like Greymane is terrible against Tracer. I think he also has a lot of, bursting potential. And the Malthael is just very good against Muradin, Blaze, all those high HP targets in general, thanks to his percentage damage. So in terms of raw drafting, I think Beyond the Game has actually done pretty well. The question is, can they execute it accordingly? Once again, we have this infamous Lightning Breath Phoenix combo with a salvo. Is it going to be enough, though, Tetra? What do you think?
It's a pretty standard combo. The fact is, there's a whole lot of protection against it. There's Bunker, there's Decade Healing. The Wombo could potentially be shut down by Decade Sleep. Muradin CC, especially if it goes Skullcracker, is good interrupts. I don't know. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that the combo's there, but it's very all-in on it. I'm really unsure about this for BTG. I'm leaning towards CE. It's a much safer composition.
I'm also slightly leaning towards CE, I'm going to be honest with you, because mainly, Tracer and Nalufal. That's just a golden combination that has yet to be bested. I would actually like to see the statistics on Nalufal's win rate in HGC China. But I think it's probably in the mid-70s, upper 70s. Wouldn't even surprise if it's higher than that.
Have a guess. Have a percentage guess.
I'm going to go for the 75.
75, all right.
75%. And while Tetra is doing some more research work, we're going to introduce the teams for you guys on Dragonshire this time, a map that we haven't seen all that much yesterday. BTG with 619 on the Diablo, LLK is playing the Phoenix, Druid on Malfurion again, Greymane being played by Dancing, and Malthael being played by Thuri.
And on the right-hand side, it is Challenge CE with a Lufal on Tracer, Wind on Muradin, 365 on Decade Kane, KTY on the Blaze, and it's going to be Zuyu playing the Hanzo. So again, back onto ranged heroes here. And I have discovered, what was your prediction on what percentage his win rate would be?
I thought Alufal had something around 75% win rate on Tracer.
He has a 55% win rate on Tracer.
Ooh, okay. I definitely had better statistics in mind there. How many games did he play, though?
20.
20. That's actually a decent sample size, but still not as good as I thought it would be.
Including MSP. To be oh yeah, you just want HGC China, don't you?
Yeah, I was talking about HGC China.
Okay, I will limit it to HGC China.
So probably remove a couple of losses there from the mid-season brawl.
Probably, because that includes Eastern Clash, Western Clash,
right.
The brawl, all these things. Boom. Okay, so that's this year is what I've done by. All right, Tracer 76.9.
76. There we go.
Yeah, very close. Now here's the other question: what's his Genji win rate?
Ooh, I think the Genji's even higher. I think the Genji's easily in the 80s.
87.5.
Yeah, 87, man. That's a good year. That's a really good year.
I would not know. I was not alive. As we wait and see. As for now, there was a little bit of a scuffle in the mid lane, including some triangles, but overall, it is a little bit of a passive early start. I realize sometimes that I try to call it a scroll of ceiling and stuff like that every now and again, but the fact is someone who does not hear those reiterations of what the triangle is are going to be very confused when they join the game with some of the slang we use, when we're talking about dibbles and, oh my god, he uses a triangle. What kind of game is this?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there's a little bit of a Heroes of the Storm, like caster lingo or veteran language, right? So newer players or newer viewers who haven't really done much esports viewing in the past are probably going to get a little confused. But if at any point in time you have questions about the chat or about the language, the terms we use, feel free to tweet at us, by the way. You can see our Twitters in between the games. And yesterday, by the way, as Tetris said earlier, we received some very friendly tweets of people saying, hey, I've been watching esports for the first time. You did an amazing job. Really enjoyed it. Going to watch back again today. So these are the kinds of tweets we're definitely going to retweet and like. And these are the tweets that make us very happy, Pandas.
Blaze ate a lot of damage in that top lane, but we're also seeing the joy of Hanzo in this bottom lane. We're seeing the nearly death of Hanzo in this bottom lane, but Hanzo in this lane is so good just due to the consistent scatter arrows being able to put so much pressure.
And this is already a different game changer. It is Beyond the Game who's rotating and dominating the map up to this point. They've been having control over the shrines for a long time, but as I speak of it, there goes the Hanzo with the revenge. And he's getting a really, really nice kill there. Zuyu, by the way, once again on those ranged heroes, and it really seems to be the new go-to recipe for a CE. Have KTY on the off lane, have him on those bruisers, and let Zuyu do his thing on those long-range assassins like Hanzo.
Not gonna pretend I don't like the idea. Very much like the idea. So for now, we see KTY once again eating a lot of hits from Malthael, even a Luful taking quite a bit of damage. In comes Phoenix with the teleport. Surprise Muradin! As Tracer gets deleted though, they're still going to attempt maybe to turn around. No, KTY dropping far too low. We're seeing the Arsenal Synergy to try and finish off KTY, but the damage is not enough.
Yeah, Arsenal Synergy, you mentioned that talent several times yesterday. Once you have a certain number of repeater cannon shots, the next long distance shot is going to hit so hard, and that's exactly what happened there on the Tracer. She is one of the squishiest heroes in the game in terms of raw HP value. She makes up for it, of course, with superior mobility, but once all that mobility has been used, there's not much left to protect her, especially if Decker Kane is on the opposite side of the map.
Sorry, you finished just as I was taking a sip of water.
No problem.
As we see the double channel attempt here with Wind moving forward, looking for a delay. At least he already gets the first one as LLK piles on the pressure. Is anyone capping? Yes, they are. Bot lane is reclaimed thanks to Hanzo and Deckard Kane. Consistent lane setup. That is.
And you can really see how CE
Tracer with support.
Yeah. Tracer is struggling a little bit here to deliver the early game damage because, quite frankly, the support is locked into the bottom lane here with Zuyu because, you know, they can't let all these two shrines just go over to BTG, and with Malthael heavily countering the Blaze in the top lane, they at least need to make sure to win the bottom. That's exactly what they're going to try here. So much damage onto Zuyu.
Lovely route by Malfurion, but it's not enough to finish the job as Zuyu continues to blast Dancing with damage. So far, actually preventing him from recapping this point. How aggressive is he willing to move, though?
Yeah, the roots go down, the Broccoli is marching towards the enemy team, and it looks like Beyond the Game just overall seems to have the more stable, the more threatening lane distribution here. You can really see Malthael dominating the Blaze, left, right, and center, extinguishing his flames for the most part. And then in the bottom lane, Malfurion, you know, he's an old man, he's an old support, but so is Deckard Kane. So it's a battle of the elderly, you could call it. But Malfurion and Grayman definitely seem to have the upper hand. I mean, they're alliance. What else would you expect?
Very true. Oh, down goes Muradin. Nice route again. Druid back on that Malfurion, really showing up early in this series. Then that only does even up the kill count though, but it acquires the Dragon Knight for BTG, which immediately begin pushing in the top lane. Malthael will eat a Blaze stun. And someone in chat bring up a very good point of it's kind of sad that we do not see Deckard's W being his root as opposed to his E, because then you would have a cube root and we would know the area of his cube.
Yep, there we go. I mean, look at Beyond the Game. They look like a different team. They look like a much more refined team. They play the map like it's supposed to be played with strong laning dominance here, both in top and bottom, constantly maintaining control over the shrines, and that's what you get. You get an early Dragon Knight with a lot of value, unusual value actually, taking out an entire fort. Sometimes you see the first Dragon Knight not really get more than a tower or two if the defense is right, but due to the fact that it's been a constant back and forth, the Dragon Knight actually scaled a little bit harder compared to, let's say, a level 7 or 8 Dragon Knight.
But we do have level 10 available for both teams. Towers and a Force still acquired. Like you said, it's really good. It's really reasonable value for this stage. And the question is, now with level 10s available, what can CE do to really catch up with that XP gap? Moving on to LLK, taking a pretty decent amount of damage to him.
Diablo.
Window very far forward as Diablo moves into 1v4 in the background as a great distraction. Window, last rights will get taken out. It comes to sleep on 2-3 members. Malfurion moves into Tranquility on the maximum area. The Lightning Breath was good here. Purification Salvo was also used as Blaze is completely separated from his team. He will get taken out. And the sustain from that Malfurion, too much for Alufal and Juyu to deal with.
Yeah, quite honestly, that was just the perfect engagement by Beyond the Game. They found a really good spot as well for Diablo. Look at that flank, nailing Hanzo into the wall. And quite frankly, with that Malthael there, they have the better tank shredding. They have the better tank execution. Diablo remains largely untouched, whereas Muradin was taken out by Malthael's last rites. Just a millisecond, by the way, before he could have hopped into the bunker because the root was keeping him in place, I believe. So if he had gone into that bunker, he would have avoided the last rites damage, and the fight could have been a different one. But as it is, look at that engagement into the roots. The bunker saves Hanzo for now, but only time.
Ooh, not very long.
No, yeah, I was going to say.
He tried to stay in longer, tried to maybe force a bait or hope for Deckard to get a potion out to him, but Deckard didn't have mana. So that unfortunately did not work out. Now Blaze, Muradin in a little bit of trouble. Blaze also eating a lot of damage. The damage output coming in from BTG just is so high. I've very rarely seen them with less than half hit points, whereas CE seems to be constantly low.
Yeah, and the thing is, the beauty of having Malthael and Greymane in the same team, I think here, is that Greymane doesn't even need to go for the Curse Bullet, right? Because they already have enough tank trading. Tracer, by the way, holding this Mercenary capped and contested at the last moment here. Comes Dragon's Arrow, stunning 2 people, but no follow-up damage done here by CE. They're actually almost 2 levels behind.
Yeah, not really able to, at this stage at least, bring their composition to bear, even though they have what you could look at and say, wow, this is some of the most overpowered heroes in the game, or at least some of the most powerful. So not seeing them in a dominant position is very unusual for CE in general. Here comes the inevitable end, and as such, 3 able to back up here. Beautiful
self-cleanse there by Malthael. If you have that timing on lock, you're going to bait the enemy team into a very reckless position here. Now Diablo trying to find a counter engage, dropping on the Muradin. Does he have the Avatar ready? Oh, so much damage coming in here as well. He ends up falling.
Deckard drops the sleep as well. Bunkers dropped as well. And another 2 heroics blown. And Tracer goes down to Phoenix as well. This is a snowballing disaster right now, rolling down a hill in an avalanche. It's caught up at least 12 townsfolk at this point as we see BTG beginning to move in with another Dragon Knight.
Yeah, another Dragon Knight indeed, and after only 10 minutes into this game, it looks like Beyond the Game is on the way to tying out the series here, getting 1 point if they manage to get the win under their belt here. They choose the bottom lane. That's a very smart call. Not only do you have most movement freedom here, but also a Siege Giant camp is reinforcing their push currently. So how much can they get? The Dragon Knight wasting a little bit of time, taking a lot of damage with that chasing maneuver onto the Tracer. Get baited, mate. But I think that maneuver might have really broken their rhythm. Can they get something done eventually?
KTY dropping the bunker so early and immediately just eats a lost rights on its completion. It's down.
Might be game after all.
The Dragon Knight with very little health moving towards the core. Sleep gets 3 members. Lightning Breath though, so many kind of chase. Alufal not able to get Druid here. And BTG, they're hovering around the core, but it would be so risky. Blaze would be back. It would be 5v5, 13 versus 16. If they can get kills, though, that'd be great of opportunity for it. As Alufal gets taken out by Dancing, that's a good start. They might be able to maybe make an attempt here, but no, still not willing to take the risk.
Yeah, and that's one of those classic maneuvers, right? You pull back from the core, you're trying to fake out an all-in retreat, but just when the defenders get a little cocky and a little reckless, you turn around with a Diablo engage, the Grey Bean follows up on the Tracer as well, and once the recall had been used, you make sure that she's gonna get her life ended, and that's beautifully done by Beyond the Game. They look like a different team. We said that before. 9 kills to 2 is the current score. And if they don't have any major misplays, if they just remain calm and collected and play the map down with the next Dragon Knight, they have an opening in the bottom lane and they can finish this game and take that well-deserved point at this point.
I really want to see the damage tab, because it feels like BTG are eating everything the CE throws at them and they're just tanking it. In comes the bunker this time. Wind jumps into it. No last rights yet. Purification salvo, though, is pretty on point. Double kill, getting both assassins. Last rights gets just eaten by 365, does not care. As Wind also tanks it through. Blaze not so lucky. As another triple kill to BTG. They're moving across the map. And guess who's on defense? It's Merited and Deckard. Well known for their damage output and defensive capabilities. This is going to be a rough defense, if even possible. I'm thinking not really possible.
Yeah. Merited and Deckard Kane are rather known for epic beards, but for damage output, I'm not so sure. Let's see if they can at least stall them out here a little bit with CC, crowd control effects, and the core is going to deliver the killing blow here, hopefully. But it goes down to 40, goes down to 30, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. The second major upset of this relatively new season of HGC China. Beyond the Game continues to underline their performance and takes a map of CE.
That puts both BTG and CE tied at the top of the table after 2 series each, along with Team KT. Very nice play by BTG, showing that they still